Today, on the 73 Corvette, we're going to take a coupe door and turn it into a convertible door. Coupe door looks like this. And a convertible door has this little cutout in it. The way we're going to do that is by adding this part right here. I'm going to show how I get this done. I've never done this before, so let's see how it goes. Hit it. You're watching On the Mark with Mark. Here is my new door. Now, I bought this off eBay, and it was said to be new old stock. And I can't say that it is not. It really looks good. Now, it does have some damage on the fiberglass side. Of course, you know, the side we're gonna see. But look at that metal. This looks to be never installed, new old stock. And look at these joints here. I mean, this thing is just beautiful. I can't believe there was even one out there still. But anyway, I paid through the nose for it. And because of this little bracket that I can add right here, I'm gonna convert this coupe door to a convertible door. You can see I have the door mounted on the underside of these sawhorses. That just seemed like an easier way of clamping this to the more of the flat side of the door rather than trying to come up with something, a cradle of some kind to hold the fiberglass side and then clamp it still. So I think this is going to work, but I'm a little bit afraid that if it does fall off of there, I don't want it just crashing down on the floor. Although when I was putting this on here, one side was able to hold it up pretty good, and it's unlikely that I'll lose two clamps at the same time. And in case that foam isn't enough, luckily my wife just bought this new comforter for our bed, so that is gonna work really nice here and be good enough for the Corvette door. So that's awesome. I don't know how she got to be so forward thinking on these things. How'd she know I was gonna need this? So that's awesome. So that's just there in case it falls off. It came with this pattern that I've got to cut out, and then it's got some registration holes in it for this hole right here and a couple of other places, and this actually fits underneath this lapped piece of metal right here. So I'm going to cut this out, and then I'll tape it on there, and we'll mark out real carefully where I need to cut this door. After several fits on this and going back over to my original door and seeing where that one was in comparison to the rolled edge and the top up here, this looks to be the best fit that I see here. Now, once we get that cut out of there, we can pull this in from the back side. We'll run it right through here. This will go in. Oh my gosh, is there room? Yeah. It'll go in back there. Then we might need to trim a little bit because this is a flat plate that's going to fit right across there and this up here. So it will be self-aligning once I get it back there. Hopefully. So boy, this has got some oil on it. I'm gonna have to get that off there before we go welding. So I'm going to start by drilling a hole here and here, and up here and here. And those will be my corners, and then I'll cut between the 4, and then we'll grind it down to the edge there. Also, I'm going to scribe this on here. I have scribed a line around where this pattern is and across the top there. This line, you know, they kind of left that open, but I went and looked at my original door, and it seems to start right where the bend starts, so it's on the flat there. And I've punched a hole, not a hole, but I've made a center punch mark on the inside of each of the radiuses that I want to make on here. So now I'm going to drill some holes in here and set up all 4 corners, and then we'll cut in between them. Now to get this radius, I've got this great big one here. This one goes up to some number they don't want to tell me. Wait a minute. 1 3/16 diameter. It's a pretty big bit. All right, it looks like I hit the center pretty good here. So I'm just going to take this out until it matches up with that radius. It's right on a bent part of the metal there. I left a really jagged edge there, but the radius looks good. Okay, I'm real happy with that. Now we just got to cut between these holes. There we go. That's a start. Now we gotta get the grinder out. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I scuffed up the metal right there. I don't want to throw any paint on before we start welding. Let's slip this in here and oops. Boy, that's a tight fit. Supposed to be like that in behind here. Looks like, yeah, I'm gonna have to trim off some of this here because there's a plate right there. Okay, and this side is clear, and there's an angle coming down there, but it can slide in between there. So I just need to trim this edge off a little bit. Okay, first test fit after cutting that little corner off. There was a piece down here that I cut off, and now it's fitting in fairly good, but it's not up to the back side of this surface here yet, and it looks like it is up to underneath here, which means I'm probably going to need to cut a little more off here, and I think it can still go this way a little ways, so we're either going to cut off some on this side. I'm looking at the original, and this is very thin on the original. Boy, that's a hell of a place to lose strength. I'm going to think about that a little bit. I wonder if it would be better to bend that over. But anyway, a little bit more may need to be trimmed off of this side over here. Now, I've got an idea on how I can pull this in to where it needs to be. I think I'm going to put a plate across here and put some bolts in here and then pull it in with some bolts. After the test fit, I've determined I need to trim a little more off of this side across the top. Looks like all the way around. So here we go. I'm going to drill some holes around the perimeter of this so that we can plug weld into this plate here. So I'm just going to use this as a little bit of a guide so I can see where to drill my holes. Looks like out to here and there, around the corner there. Pretty tight here. There's one over there, and yeah, this up here. Okay, that looks pretty reasonable. Before we do the next test fit, which will just be the second one, I'm going to drill these holes. In case I like the test fit so much, I just want to leave it in there. Oh, here we go. Okay, what I'm thinking is we'll get some plug welds in these holes here, and then we'll pin this over into there a little ways, and then we'll do a series of tack welds around the edge until we have continuous weld all the way around there. Once we get this spot welded, we should be able to take this little bracket off here. That is pulling it in as tight as it can get. Actually, there might be a slight gap down here. Maybe not. But we can plug weld here first and then move this bracket down to this hole here and pull the bottom in real tight and hit those plug welds and then do our peening over. A couple of plug welds right here and here to start with. Got my friend Tom here. He's going to do the welding.
All right, we're hot.
Okay, not watching.
There we go.
Nice. Okay. Now we'll get that bracket out of the way. All right, we've got these two plug welds in. Now we're going to do these 4 along here after moving this bracket. So it's pulled in here real tight. Now Tom's going to put them plug welds.
Do that one, then this one, and then this one. We're going to let it cool down in each spot a little bit so it doesn't warp too bad.
Smart.
Okay, fire.
Looking away.
That one burnt through just a little bit. There we go. Okay, hot.
Okay, not looking. Okay, I've got things ground down pretty smooth. There are a few pinholes in here. I'm going to slather this with my best friend, JB Weld. And I'm even going to hit the inside too, where the edge of the part that I put in here is just sticking out. So we'll get that covered too. I'm wiping this down with acetone so I get a good stick with my JB Weld. Okay, I'm just going to apply this with my finger here. I think I should be able to get it where I want it. Yeah. That works pretty good. All right, that is gonna do it. I'm gonna wait for that to skin over, and then I'm gonna shoot it with some primer. Still completely wet. That's it for tonight. The JB Weld and the paint has had a chance to dry now. Looks real good. Now we're gonna clean this up, make this all nice and straight looking with just, I think we'll start with a little bit of sandpaper. I think that's all this is gonna need. Beautiful. Try this thing here. I don't know if that can do it. Good as it's gonna get, and that will do. This has been wiped down, so it's degreased. I got all the dust off of here, and I'm just gonna shoot it again, and we'll see how it looks with a nice even coat of paint on it again. Good or bad, that's how it turned out here. I think it's probably going to be okay. One of the things in the instructions it said to do that I didn't do was to have the door mounted, and after tacking it on, try it and see if it fits. So that's probably a good idea. That's one thing I didn't do. I know there is some adjustability in that receiver that's on the door frame. And also there's a little bit of adjustability in this part too. I may have to drill the holes oversized if it really is, you know, needing to move a long ways. I hope that doesn't have to happen, but we'll be getting this door mounted soon. So that will be in an upcoming video. Thanks for watching On the Mark with Mark. Please like and subscribe.